everybody, Crafting Journey here, that journey chick on Instagram. Is this thing on? It is. Okay. Good morning, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Gotta go to work. Work, everybody sing. Ready? Gotta go to work. Now, I worked Monday and Tuesday from home. I did remind my boss yesterday, hey, what about that conversation we had? Can I work from home? You know, we said I could possibly work from home full time. She's like, oh no, that wouldn't be fair to other people. What? That is not part of the conversation we had. I don't care if I'm fair to other people. This is about me. Well, whatever. Okay. So that's a no-go. I guess I should feel blessed that I can work from home 2 days a week. Especially after a retreat. Yes. Anywho, we have the planner out. Somebody pointed out, I just think it's hilarious. Somebody with OCD, one of my subscribers, pointed out that I had not taken the back cover, you know, the paper cover that was on here. I was at the retreat and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, wow, that back cover is still on here. Apparently she had noticed a long time ago and never said anything, and it was driving her crazy. So the back cover is now off. If there's something else that's like just driving you crazy, let me know, because I don't want to be the result of triggering anybody's OCD. No. So I got my coffee. It says, don't be a basic witch. You know what that means, right? There's Stitch. We had the worst storm last night. Oh my God, it woke me up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I don't know, something like that. I had left this window open, the one right there. And I was like, oh no. So water was coming in there. So the curtain got, oh, there's the electric guy. I paid the bill. I swear. Okay. The curtain got wet. The table got wet. The edge of this diamond painting, that's how far the water came. The edge of this diamond painting was wet. But I feel that it has dried and it is sticky now, because what I did was I closed up everything and I turned the air conditioner on. None of the diamond paintings that are over in this corner got wet. Thank God. But the lightning was so loud, and I kept checking my phone to make sure there was no tornadoes. And I was able to go back to sleep, thankfully. So what are we going to talk about today? Okay, this is National Anti-Bullying Day. We're going to talk about bullying. I have been bullied in my lifetime, and I'll bet some of you have too. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that this day in history. I never remember. Why can that not stick in my brain? Oh, I remember. A World War II movie. Yes, okay. Today is Wednesday. Okay, I have a Walmart order today. Walmart order. Yep, I got to pick that up on the way home from work. And tonight is Craft With Me Wednesday. I will be diamond painting, but I will have special guests. Crafts with Crashly, Billy's Crafting Lounge, I think is the name of his channel. I'm going to make sure I put all of their channels in the description, because I want you to subscribe to each one of them. They're great creators. And did he just walk up to my... I swear I paid the bill. Hold on. I'm a little paranoid. Yeah, well, if the lights go out, we'll know that they didn't get paid yet. You know, I pay through the bank where they mail it, or it's supposed to go electronically, I think, to I'm listening to this truck. Please move along. Move along. Anyway, it's supposed to go electronically to the... My anxiety's like right here, right now. Okay. He's gone. Like he walked up to the house like he... Oh, dear. Okay. So, and the bill was due today. So that's why I'm paranoid, because I paid it through the bank last Thursday. But we know Monday was a holiday, so a federal holiday, which means the banks were closed. But it was deducted from my account yesterday. I'm spending way too much time talking about this. Yes, I'm a little anxious about it. But we still have electricity. Okay. For now. He's looking for the switch. The off switch. Oh my God. Okay. We're done with the planner. Oh, I was talking about tonight. Okay. So Crafts with Crashly, Billy's Crafting Lounge, and Tia's Crazy Craft Addiction. Those 3 people will be in my live tonight. We're going to talk about the fun that we had at the retreat. The 4 of us kind of sat in the vicinity of each other. Like there was me and Crashly, and then across from me was Tia, and then across from Crashly was Billy. So we had like a little foursome going on there. And we had some fun. Okay. That is enough of that. Let's talk about bullying for just a few minutes. This is a day when we got to teach our kids to stand up to this. There's different kinds of bullying. There's, of course, verbal, where people just use their words to intimidate other people. And that's terrible. Stop Bullying Day. Stop. Okay. It could be by name calling or, just somebody threatening you. Disrespectful language towards your family, friends, or specifically aimed at their target, So you need to make kids aware that this is not acceptable. And if that's happening to them, they need to report it to an adult. Then there's physical bullying where, the kids are being pushed and shoved. Just general aggression, maybe kicked, punched. Then there's relational bullying. Now, I had never heard of relational bullying. This involves purposely excluding someone from activities, groups, or events through social tactics. For example, someone sets up a Zoom and says, oh, it's only for these people. These other people can't come into this Zoom. I'm not going to say this has ever happened. I'm just saying this could be considered an example of relational bullying. This is why when I have a Zoom, it's open to everyone. I am not excluding anyone. I'm not going to relational bully anyone. Then there's cyber bullying, which includes the use of social media, text, and the internet to spread rumors, lies, or mean messages about people. Now, this is where I have been bullied in this community. Now, it's not happening right now, but it has happened to me in the past, where an individual has used texting, their channel, their YouTube channel to spread rumors about me, lies, mean messages, and it's something I would never do to anyone else. There was one time, 2 years ago, one time that I said something derogatory about another creator. It wasn't even derogatory, but it was something that I really had not fact checked. So it may or may not have been true. To this day, I don't know if it was true or not, but I said it about this person and got a lot of flack for it. So I don't do that anymore. If someone is bullying me, I don't bring it to my channel. I don't talk about it. I don't want it to, because that just kind of propagates it, stirs the pot, stirs the pot. I don't pot stir. But we need to make our kids aware that this is something that could happen to them through Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, someone could be bullying them through these platforms. So talk to your kids about their use of social media and what's happening to them, or may not be, or what they may be doing to others. Hey, I see what you're doing there. That's really not acceptable. Let's not do that. Even among adults, it happens, and we should be aware of it. I do not use my channel to talk about another person. If it comes out of my mouth, I've fact-checked it, trust me. And I still don't want to pot stir. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm spreading rumors about them, and I don't want other people spreading rumors about me. So I just don't put it on my channel. I left Treasure Studios Arts. I'm not going to ever speak about my reasons, because they're my reasons. And I think if I did speak about it, it could be perceived as bullying that company. And I'm not going to do that. I just not. That company is free to go on and do what they do. They have some amazing affiliates now. Still, they have some amazing affiliates that you can use their code for. But let's just be aware of what we say on our channels, what we say as subscribers, because you don't want to be perceived as being a bully. And neither do I. So I can remember when it happened to me. I was devastated. I was so hurt. I cried. I just couldn't believe that someone was doing this to me. And I had to block them every single way that I could. And to this day, I can't go into certain groups because that person is in those groups. And if I go in there, it unblocks them. It takes all my blocks off that person. And it's just not something I ever want to risk again, to have that feeling of being bullied. It was horrible. So I avoid it. So let's talk about bullying with our children, with our, with other people. If you think some other adult is bullying someone, let them know, hey, I think what you're doing, is borderline bullying and could be perceived that way. And maybe you should say something a different way, just have that conversation. So that is all I'm going to say about that. Now, I have a true crime story for you today from Alaska. Let's go to Alaska after I have some more coffee. First, I want to talk to you about the Gabby Petito case. Another update. No, they haven't found Brian Laundrie. So Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, young couple, they were traveling across the country. They got a little van that they outfitted this little van, redid the whole inside of it, and they were going to, they're what do they call it? They're engaged to each other. They're going to get married. They're in love. They're going to travel the country. So they set out from New York and they start their adventure, and somewhere in the Grand Tetons, they get pulled over by the police because she's crying and he's got scratches all over his face. You could see from the body-worn cameras that the police officers were wearing that this couple were on each other's nerves. When you spend so much time with one person, you're like, shut up. That's why I would not do this kind of trip with another person. So clearly we're getting on each other's nerves. But in any case, he comes home without her in the van. They find her body. They've done an autopsy. We knew that the manner of death was ruled to be a homicide. So yesterday, the medical examiner announced the cause of death. She was strangled to death. So something she said or did annoyed the crap out of somebody else, and they went, stop. Now, we don't know if it was Brian Laundrie or not. We suspect it was Brian Laundrie. He probably had enough. I can't take it anymore. Shut up. No, I don't know. But he's still on the lam. Yep, can't find him. And I know from covering other true crime stories that really a month of being sort of disappearing is not unusual to elude the police for that amount of time. And he is. And he may not even be alive. We don't know. So anyway, that was the update. Cause of death, she was strangled. What a horrible way to die. Anyway, maybe he left her there and someone else strangled her. Maybe she was like, hey, can you give me a ride? And they went, no. I don't know. I don't know. I'm making light of it. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's a horrible death. Okay, that is the update on that. The other update, today the jury resumes deliberation in the trial of Mark Ghosh, the airman who was alleged to have abducted and murdered Sasha Krause, the Mennonite girl. They are going to deliberate today. So if that verdict comes out, I will try to bring it to you live if I can. Like I say, I'm going to work. If I can get away, I'll take my computer with me. I'll set up somewhere, try to go live. The reception at work is not good. So this may or may not happen. It could be later on tonight. Could be tomorrow. We don't know, but I'll give it a try. I haven't done any diamond painting, guys. All right, while I'm telling you about this true crime story, yesterday I diamond painted some of this here, right here. Yes, I did. And I need to turn on, there's a drill that's kind of straying around the canvas here. Come here, you. You don't go there. All right, let's turn the light pad on. Okay, we need that little guy there. Let's see if we can find it. Quickly. No, that's not it. How about this one? How about this one? Yes, okay. We have a winner! Yellow! Yay. Which means we need a purple tray so we can see the yellow. Okay, we're going to do some yellow while we talk about. So I decided I'm going to turn, I'm always kidding about Tia and I going to Alaska. Well, after hearing some of the stories that come out of Alaska and crime, I'm having second thoughts. Apparently, women are like 50% more likely to be abused in Alaska than they are anywhere else in this country. So, I don't know. Anyway, and a lot of people that move there, they move there because they are, they're loners. They may or may not have had checkered past, and they just kind of want to get away from it all, So, a man named Don Tidwell. He grew up in Denver. He has some sisters. He decides that he's going to move to Alaska, and he does. And he loves it there. So one of his sisters, she gets married, she gets divorced, she has a son, and she calls her brother and she's like, you know what? I want to move to Alaska. Can I come up there with you? And he's like, sure, come on up. So she goes up to Alaska and she loves it. She's fishing and hunting for her food. She's catching huge salmon and trout, and she killed a bull moose by herself. Like, wow. And she's just loving it. So she gets a job. She rents her own place. Eventually she buys a place. And she meets a man. Her name is Deb Rior. She meets a man named Rick Barry, who grew up in Alaska. He's like this gorgeous Alaskan husky, the kind of guy, lumberjack looking guy that you would expect you would meet in Alaska. They fall madly in love. Like he's head over heels for her. He's always said he's never going to get married. Guess what? They get married. So they're living together, because they're married, and they're building a house in this little area called Chulitna, Chulitna. And it's not really a town. It's actually basically a whistle stop for this train that comes through this area, this pass. And the train goes through, and if there's somebody there that flags them down, they'll stop and pick them up. Or if there's a passenger that wants to get off there, the train will slow down and let them off. But that's it. It's just a stop. There's no building. There's no nothing. But there's a lot of homes, not a lot, but there's been some homes built around this area. And they decide his father, he inherited some property from his father that was homesteaded out here, and they're going to build a log cabin. So they build it, and they're working on it, and they go up there on the weekends, and they work on it. So this was Memorial Day weekend. They go up. They both have these four-wheelers that they use to get around the area. Because as you might surmise, this is Alaska. And over the Memorial Day weekend, they're there fixing up their house. So after the Memorial Day weekend, which there was a Monday, on Tuesday, May 27th, Don gets a call. Deb's brother gets a call from Deb's employer saying, hey, she didn't show up for work today. And he's like, that's strange. Well, I know they went out to their place. Let me go check on them. So he puts his four-wheeler in a truck. He goes out there. He gets in the four-wheeler and he's looking for them. He checks their home and they're not there. There's a plate of cheese and crackers on the table and an open beer. Like they just kind of got up and walked out of the cabin. So they're gone. He can't find them. So he's looking around. He doesn't find them anywhere. So that night he spends the night in the cabin. But before he goes to sleep, he's looking around at the other homes in the area to see if there's any lights on. He sees the lights on in this one house that was owned by Paul Stavignord. So he goes over there and he's like, hey, I'm here checking on my sister and brother-in-law. Have you seen them? And Paul Stavignord is like, no, haven't seen them. So he goes back and he gets this really creepy feeling about Paul Stavignord. Paul Stavignord has this very long criminal history. Bank robbery, like he was in juvenile as a kid. He was in prison for bank robbery. He just had been in a lot of trouble in his lifetime. So he had decided he's going to move to Alaska and get away from it all. So nobody bother him. He learns to play this, they're calling it a flute, this little thing, and he's like do 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 do, like a snake charmer, just this really weird guy, beard, and he had been married at one time. He had a kid, but the woman she couldn't take the barrenness of Alaska. She just couldn't take that isolation. So she took her kid and she hightailed it out of there. And he was there living alone with his flute. And he would go to these festivals and he would play his flute and he would sell some that he had made. And he seemed to be doing really well. So Don goes back to his sister's home. He spends the night. The next day he calls the troopers and he's like, hey, I cannot find my sister or brother-in-law. They didn't go to work. They're not here. They're not at their regular home. They're not here at their cabin where she was last seen the Friday before. It's the last time anybody saw her. So the troopers come out and they start searching. So in this little place called Pass Creek, they see a vehicle in the water, and it's an ATV vehicle. So Don hears that they're over there, and he goes over there, and the troopers are like, no, I don't think you want to come over here. He sees them pulling a body out of the water, and he could tell that it's a very heavy body, so he knows it's not his sister, that it's probably, and he's like, is that Rick? And they're like, yes, it's Rick, but you really need to stay away. This is a crime scene now. So they pull the vehicle out of the water, but there's no sign of her. He had been shot in the head, point blank, and put into this creek. So but they can't find her. So now they're suspecting her. Did she take off on her four-wheeler? Did she shoot him in the head and then take off on her four-wheeler? So she's a suspect, but they can't find her. So they do continue to search, and a few weeks later, they do find her ATV. They do find her body. They don't find her ATV, her all-terrain vehicle, four-wheeler. They don't find it, but they find her body. It was also in the creek, but it was up quite a ways away. She was naked from the waist down. She had also been shot in the head, so clearly not a suspect anymore. The medical examiner could not determine whether she had been sexually assaulted before she died or after, but it was pretty much suspected that it was after she died. Then, several weeks later, they start investigating, the people around the area, and they come across Paul Stabenjord, and they start interviewing him. Now, they look him up, and he's got a past, and they said to him, they had DNA from her body, because she'd been sexually assaulted. There was DNA. There was semen that they were able to get DNA from. So they asked him, hey, can you give us a DNA sample? And he's like, sure, I'll give you a DNA sample. So he gives them a DNA sample, and the cop says to him, now listen, don't get any ideas. You're not under arrest or anything like that. We're just testing everybody for DNA, but don't leave town. So, of course, he's a match for the DNA, so they know that this is their guy. They go up to arrest him. He's gone. Of course he's gone. He fled. So he just disappears into the wilderness. He's gone. Then he's spotted on an all-terrain vehicle, probably hers. In fact, they later do find out that it is Deb's all-terrain vehicle. He had shaved. He was clean cut now. But they do eventually find him. Actually, what happened was he got tired of eluding police, and he actually came back home, spent a few nights in his own place, and then consulted a lawyer. And the lawyer said, I think they're going to catch you. You really need to turn yourself in. So he turns himself in, pleads guilty. He's sentenced to 80 years in prison. 80 years. Yeah. So that is that story. So am I going to Alaska? I don't know. First of all, I don't hunt or fish. I'm not a gun person. I probably would be very out of place in Alaska. I don't know. Lisa, my friend Lisa lives in Alaska. Do I need to know how to shoot a gun? Drive a four-wheeler? Hey, what? Because I can't do those things. I just think it's cool to be, you're in the wilderness. You're surrounded by nature. You can go hiking, during the summer. You can go hiking, and I don't know. It just seems like such a relaxing place. Maybe just a place to visit, I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know if I could live there year-round. But I probably could. I would probably be very happy just sitting there, diamond painting, looking out at the mountains. But then you got these weirdos living out there that have these criminal records that, I don't know. And his story was, when he turned himself in, he said, she came to me, and she came to my house, and I was playing my flute for her, do 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 do, and charming her, and I charmed her, and we had sex, and then Rick came by and caught us, and he started shooting at me, and I had to shoot at him. This totally implausible story. Because, first of all, the brother says she couldn't stand this guy. There's no way she's going to be charmed that she sleeps with him because he can play a flute. No. So funny. So funny. Yeah. So, of course, nobody bought that story. Because, first of all, there was only one type of bullet found in those two people's bodies. No, there were no other bullet cartridges of any other type found anywhere to suggest that there was like this shootout, as he said. Um, yeah, nobody was buying that malarkey. So what happened this day in history? In 1947. Okay, in 1947, this was like the age of, what was going on in society at the time. We're in the midst of World War II with Germany, of course, and everybody's developing an atomic bomb. That this is our means of threatening people with atomic bomb. But nobody knows, like, how is this going to affect us? If we get hit by atomic bomb, are we like all? Nobody knows what the side effects are, or there's like this whole fear. Do we need bomb shelters? But so Hollywood was playing on this fear and coming out with these ridiculous movies like The Incredible Shrinking Man, who's exposed to radiation and he starts to shrink. But on this day in history, it was 1957. What did I say? 47? 1957. They Hollywood releases The Amazing Colossal Man. Now this is about a guy. Again, he's exposed to atomic radiation and he just grows and he's like this big, huge man roaming the Nevada desert. So, other films that were released during this time there was one called Them, about these ants that got exposed. So they're like these enormous giant ants, roaming around New York. Then there was one about a dinosaur who he gets thawed out when the atomic bomb goes off, and so this dinosaur is roaming around New York City, and yeah, so just really, really ridiculous movies. But so that is what happened this day in history. The Colossal Man. Hey, Mom, let's go see the Colossal Man. This is what's going to happen to us if we get exposed to atomic radiation. We're going to turn into the Colossal Man. I can see that now, that kids would have like Colossal Man dolls, to go with your Barbies. Giant Colossal Man. Really? Okay. Oh, something in my eye. All right, guys. I have to go to work. So thank you for watching this morning. I hope to bring you a verdict soon. I know the Markeith Lloyd, they're still doing jury selection, so we're not starting that trial yet. Tomorrow I will bring you another true crime story. Do you want another one from Alaska? We could do more Alaska ones because those are kind of fun. Let's do another Alaska one tomorrow. How about that? All in favor? Aye. Okay. I will see you tonight, 6 p.m. Central. Craft with me Wednesday with Ashley, Billy, Tia, and moi. I love you all. And don't forget, kindness takes courage. Bye, everybody.